What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you are all doing very well. We're talking about the Mage today. The Mage obviously had a really big rework in 10.1.5, and I finally have had a chance to get mine sort of started the gearing process. Obviously, this is very, very low level, but we've started the gearing process. I have not been able to get a tier set bonus yet, the new tier set bonus, but it looks very, very cool, and I actually can't wait to jump into this and get my hands on the Frost one in particular that buffs, you know, Flurry and Ice Lance and that kind of thing. But the Mage rework has come through, and it's a really big deal. So I want to talk specifically about Frost today, Frost Mage, and I'll get into the other Mage specs a little bit later because I know some of you guys are wanting to know about that stuff too. There's also been some big changes very recently to Fire Mage and like Living Bomb and that kind of stuff, so hopefully I can get into that as well. But today we're going to talk about Frost Mage, and I just want to give my initial impressions of how the new Mage specs are playing, and in particular Frost. So let's just dive right in. Number one, I really love the changes that, of course, were made to the class side of the tree, introducing talents like Mass Barrier, Mass Invisibility. Barrier being the really big one. You can now contribute a meaningful amount of healing to your team, and I have noticed in the keys that I've been running with mages that particularly Arcane Mage is really broken, giving everybody a barrier that absorbs a certain amount of damage and then also gives you a magic DR is really incredibly strong for Arcane Mage. The Frost one is also really good. Nothing wrong with that at all. The shield is really big, and I just love being able to give my team a shield like that. You can see my healing done overall on my team actually ended up being 6.5k per second, like overall, which is really, really cool. But it's the ice barrier you're giving to your friends, and I just love that. A new talent that's coming right there. Of course, the other talents that have come in, Mass Invisibility, I don't really see too many people using, which is okay. That's fine. And then they shuffled some stuff around. They put Shifting Power near the top, so it's a more central part of the class tree, which is very, very good. Alter Time is still here. I'm getting the handle on Alter Time, how to use it correctly because it's such a powerful cooldown. Icy Flows is something that I'm supposed to be using, and I will get used to using this in the near future. It's just not something I've sort of picked up yet, but it's very good as well. Unfortunately for Frost, it feels like you're a little bit stuck on your talents. Like you have to come over here and get Freezing Cold, I think, is really important. Probably Frost Nova having 2 charges is also really good. So you're a little bit stuck, I think. Casting Ice Lance on your frozen targets reduces the cooldown of your loss of control abilities. That's really, really good for Ice Nova in particular, which gets cooled down from that. And you can see my Ice Nova damage was 5.2% overall. So Frost seems a little bit pigeonholed in where they have to go. They're a little bit stuck. Like, I find it difficult to come over and get Dragon's Breath, even though I want to get it. And then extra talents like Ring of Frost can also be sometimes a little bit difficult to pick up. So I'm still working on what to do with some of the class side talents, but overall I love the direction that they went with Mass Barrier. I also need to work on incorporating Temporal Warp into my build, which I also hate because once again it forces you to be lusting when the rest of the team might want your lust in particular moments, and like you don't have it up again because you're busy pressing the second time warp from Temporal Warp. So I'm not sure. I kind of hate the design of Temporal Warp, but I know it's really good. So I'm going to work at this. Let me know what you guys think about the class side of the tree. Are there some talents on the class side that you think are like mandatory that I'm not taking? Please let me know. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Now, as for the Frost spec side of the tree, I really love the spec talents. They're really, really fun. In particular, Coldest Snap is really cool. I love this talent for Mythic Plus. I'm mostly thinking about talents in the context of Mythic Plus. That's my primary concern. That's where I'm going to be playing my Frost Mage the most. Coldest Snap is just the absolute best. Cone of Cold's cooldown is increased to 45 seconds, and if it hits 3 or more enemies, it resets the cooldown of Frozen Orb and Comet Storm. In addition, Cone of Cold applies Winter's Chill to all enemies it hits, which is really good. That's the Winter's Blessing. I forget, does it have Winter's Chill? Chill. Up here? Yeah, right, which is what you normally get from Flurry. So it causes the target to take damage as if they were frozen. So that's really, really huge. So this is an awesome combo that you can pull off in AoE in particular, and it kind of looks something like this. Let me show you the dungeon that I just did an Oldemon. So you run in here, and you're going to basically do Frozen Orb into a Blizzard, And then I think you should try and get a Frost Nova down to get the instant. I end up doing Greater Invis to drop aggro. I do the Frost Orb. Then you're going to do Comet Storm, right, into the Cone of Cold, which resets Comet Storm. So my Comet Storm is about to come down here. Boom, 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 boom. Then I'm going to do a second Comet Storm right away because I reset the cooldown with the Coldest snap there. And then again, you're just doing Blizzards. Blizzards into Frozen Orbs, into Blizzards, into Frost Nova. Don't forget to use, because Frost Nova will freeze enemies in place. So I'm doing 96k right now. And like, I don't have any item level. And again, I also did Shifting Power. So you can basically go like, you can go Comet Storm, right? Into Cone of Cold, which gets you Comet Storm at Comet Storm number 2 right here. Then I do the rest of my rotation, and then I do Shifting Power. And Comet Storm is getting its cooldown 22, 19, 15, 12. And then you'll get another Comet Storm at the tail end of this pull. So you can do like 3 Comet Storms per pull, or you can have the Comet Storm for the next pull. So I really love that. And then Glacial Spike, of course, is awesome. Really do enjoy Glacial Spike. But in particular, I really am enjoying the Coldest Snap talent, which allows you to just get multiple Comet Storms. And then by the end of the dungeon, you can see Comet Storm ends up being my second highest DPS. Of course, Glacial Spike is up there as well. Glacial Spike is a lot of fun to play with, and it just does crazy, crazy damage. I had a 283,000 crit on Glacial Spike. And remember, my item level is 392. So the fact that we're able to pull off those like windows with Coldest Snap, where you're pumping like 100k damage at 392 item level, is ridiculous and really fun to play. But mostly it's just like, it shouldn't really be possible, but it is because of the way that Coldest Snap gives you those resets on Comet Storm and on Frozen Orb. So I really love this. I love this cooldown. I think it's amazing in Mythic Plus. I think it's pretty much mandatory in Mythic Plus, and it makes this Cone of Cold thing really strong, which I love. So yeah, really love that cooldown. Love Glacial Spike as well. I think it's a really strong cooldown. You kind of have to take it as well, especially because splitting ice makes it hit an additional target. So you get 2-target cleave. The 2-target cleave is really, really strong. And finally, you know, Glacial Spike has made its way back into the meta. It wasn't something we really took for a very long time. So really like Glacial Spike. One thing I'm interested in playing around with when I get the tier set bonus unlocked is trying to get as much interaction with Flurry as I possibly can. So again, the tier set bonus says that Flurry and Ice Lance damage is increased. Flurry does an AoE explosion on impact, which is super cool. And then Ice Lance, casting it on frozen targets, has a chance to trigger Brain Freeze. Brain Freeze, of course, gets you your Flurry back. So the tier set bonus is kind of all about casting Flurry, having it explode, casting Ice Lance, getting a trigger of your Flurry back. Sorry, your cooldown of your Flurry. Casting Flurry again, causing it to explode again. So what I'm really interested in doing is potentially dropping Glacial Spike and picking up Fractured Frost and Cold Front. The reason is this causes your Frostbolts to hit additional targets. Every time you cast Frostbolt, there's a 30% chance that you might reset the cooldown on Flurry and cause your next Flurry to do more damage. And again, it's going to do even more damage because of the interaction with the tier set bonus. So I don't know if this is good. I'm assuming it's really bad. But I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think in the comments down below? Has anybody actually tried Fractured Frost with Cold Front? I would really love to hear from you in the comments because I genuinely wonder if this is a good thing to take. I would also dump Ray of Frost and go Slick Ice. So then you would cast Icy Veins, right? And then you would just cast Frostbolt. And then every time it triggered a free Flurry, you would cast that Flurry. And then you would go Frostbolt, Frostbolt. And your Frostbolts would be cleaving. And then the cast time would get reduced because of Slick Ice. And then it would be cleaving enemies, and it would be casting a free Frozen Orb eventually, which is super cool. And most importantly, it would be triggering Brain Freeze. So the cast time on Frostbolt would go down. You would be casting a whole bunch of Flurries. Those Flurries would be exploding with the tier set bonus, and you would just like get this interesting cycle going over and over and over again. I wonder if that's good. I'm just curious. I don't know that it is good. It's probably just better to go with the original Glacial Spike build. But this is something I'm going to try once I get the tier set bonus unlocked fully. I don't even have any of it right now. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. This is sort of just my introduction video to Frost Mage. I'm interested what you guys think. Have any of you really tried different builds like the Fractured Frost build with Cold Front? I would love to hear from you in those comments down below. Please let me know. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I'm going to pump out a few more mage videos, in particular on Frost Mage, because this is the spec that I am the most interested in right now. So I'm going to be doing some videos on Frost Mage. Let me know what you guys think, please. I would love to hear from all you mage people who are much better at this spec than I am. Let me know what you think there. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.